Your life will never become bigger than the way you see yourself. Many people work hard. They struggle every day. They pray, hope, and wait. Yet nothing changes. Why? Because success does not begin with money. It begins with identity. Today's story reveals one truth that separates people who remain stuck from people who rise. If you truly understand this story, you will never see yourself the same way again. Stay until the end. This message may quietly change the direction of your life. Greatness does not start with talent, luck, or opportunity. It starts with a thought. History proves this again and again. Before Elon Musk had factories, he had imagination. Before Steve Jobs had products, he had vision. Before Jeff Bezos had billions, he had belief. Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But if thinking is so powerful, why do so many people remain poor, unhappy, and unsuccessful? Why do millions dream, but only a few rise? The answer lies in today's story. A life of survival. At a busy railway station, where trains arrived and departed every hour, there lived a beggar. Every day looked the same. He woke up hungry. He sat on the cold platform. He stretched out his hand to strangers who avoided his eyes. Some people dropped a few coins. Most walked past. He survived, but he never moved forward. Deep inside, he believed one thing: I am just a beggar. This is my fate. And because he believed it, his life never changed. The man who thought differently. One morning, the beggar noticed a man stepping onto the platform. This man was different. He walked with confidence. His clothes were clean and simple. His posture was straight. His eyes looked focused, as if he knew exactly where he was going. The beggar watched him closely and thought, "This man must be successful. If anyone can help me, it's him." With hope rising in his chest, the beggar stood up and approached the man. He stretched out his hand, waiting for money. But instead of reaching into his pocket, the man asked a question. "Do you only take from others, or do you ever give something in return?" The beggar was confused. No one had ever spoken to him like that. He replied honestly, "Sir, I'm a beggar. I have nothing to give. I only ask." The man looked at him calmly and said, "If you believe you have nothing to give, then you will always receive very little. I believe in exchange. Value for value. If you offer something, you receive something. If you offer nothing, you receive nothing." Then he boarded his train and left. The seed of a new thought. The beggar stood frozen. The man was not rude. He was not cruel. He was truthful. All day, the words echoed in his mind. If you want to receive, you must first give. That night, the beggar could not sleep. He asked himself questions he had never asked before. What do I really believe about myself? Do I truly have nothing? Have I accepted this life too easily? For 2 days, he stopped begging. Not because he was proud, but because he was thinking deeply. A small discovery. On the 3rd day, as he sat quietly near the tracks, his eyes fell on something he had ignored for years. Wild flowers. Bright, colorful, alive. They grew freely beside the railway station, untouched, unnoticed. A simple idea entered his mind. What if I stop only taking and start giving something, no matter how small? He picked a few flowers and returned to his usual spot. The shift from beggar to giver. This time, When someone dropped a coin into his hand, he smiled and offered a flower in return. Something unexpected happened. People smiled back. Some looked surprised. Some said, "Thank you." And some gave more money than before. As the days passed, he observed something important. When he had flowers, people gave willingly. When the flowers were gone, the money stopped. Suddenly, the truth became clear. People don't reward need. They reward value. This simple act changed how he felt inside. For the first time, he was not begging. He was exchanging. The second meeting. One afternoon, he saw the businessman again, sitting inside a train. With confidence, not desperation, he approached him and said, "Sir, today I have something to give you." He offered the flowers. The businessman smiled, handed him money, and said, "You've learned the law of exchange. You are no longer a beggar. You are a businessman." Those words changed everything. The identity shift. That night, the man realized something powerful. I was never poor because I lacked money. I was poor because I saw myself as small. He understood that his biggest limitation was not his situation. It was his self-image. The next morning, he made a bold decision. He left the railway station, not as a beggar, but as someone who believed he could create value. 6 months later, at the same railway station, two well-dressed men met. They shook hands. One man looked closely and asked, "Have we met before?" The other smiled. "Yes, right here." Suddenly, the man recognized him. "You were the beggar." The former beggar laughed gently. "Yes, once. But today," he continued, "I own a flower business. I supply shops and events. I'm traveling to expand." The businessman was amazed. "What changed your life?" he asked. The answer was simple. "The day I stopped seeing myself as a beggar." Final message, strong and memorable. Your life does not change when your income changes. It changes when your thinking changes. If you see yourself as small, you will live a small life. If you see yourself as capable, life begins to respond. You don't need more luck. You don't need permission. You need a new identity. Think bigger. See yourself differently, and your future will follow. If this story touched you, like the video, comment what lesson you learned, and share it with someone who needs this message today. This is English Success. See you in the next story.